Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Betsy, Ford, whoever couldn't make it over here tonight, this is live from Leaves. It's yours truly, Ekayani, and we're going to do a recitation and a reading of the work of Jack Kerouac this evening. I have the wonderful Jerome Harris, who's you can see here in the corner. Maybe you should have moved Jerome a little bit over more so people can actually see him on camera, but you'll be able to hear him. And I'm gonna get started. So this is in honor of the second anniversary of Leaves Bookstore, which is the dopest bookstore in Brooklyn. You need to come out here. I want every single book in this shop. Located at 140 Nassau Avenue. So we're just gonna get started. Okay, wine. Okay, so can you hear me? Now you can hear me. All right. So I want to put this evening in context. Oh my goodness. It is August and Robert. Welcome to Lee's Bookstore. There's wine up there if you want some.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Welcome. Well, just don't chip on the child's chair. Trip on the child's chair on the way out. Yeah, I don't know. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Just, sit on a stool, sit on a kid's chair, sit over there, sit over here, wherever you can find a spot. Sit on the floor. All right, just make yourself at home. So, you're right on time. I'm just starting. Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. So my name is Ekayani, and I live in the neighborhood. This is the best neighborhood in New York. And I want to put this in context of lineage. How the heck did I even get into reading Jack Kerouac? With a lot of things in my life, it's nothing that I planned, but it's a happy circumstance. So, back during the Howl Festival days in the East Village, there was a venue called the C Note, and Mike McHugh was the booker, and there was a wonderful artist who lived in the neighborhood named Casey Cyr Gash. And Old Angel Midnight had sort of just been republished, is my understanding, one of Jack's prose poems. And so because Casey is actually connected to David Amram, who is 93 years young now at this point, David is actually a friend of Jack's. And he did some of this first spoken word before people did, quote, spoken word. In 1957, there was a little gallery called the Braddock Gallery, which was on East 9th Street, I believe. And they also did readings at Circle in the Square. So at that point, David was about 74 years young and just full of energy. So because the Howl Festival was named after Allen Ginsberg's poem, Howl, also a friend of Jack's, Casey curated this wonderful evening with all these different poets like Zoe Artemis and Ron Whitehead and George Wallace and Garland Thompson Jr., and it went on and on. And somehow I got included in this. And she wrote a sutra for each of the poets to introduce us. And then we were accompanied by David Amram's band, which consisted of Kevin Twigg and Renee Hart. It's I think it's finally been posted to YouTube, but this is pretty amazing. So that happened. Time went on, and there was a celebration of Cornelius Street Cafe, may it rest in peace, on Cornelius Street in the West Village. And that was about 2012, because I think they'd been there for 30 years, maybe at that point. Robin was the owner. And so Dave was like, oh, come on, Ekayani, come on, and, read a poem. So I said, okay. So I showed up, and of course, this wonderful band, on the street playing, you know, David on the keys and his son Adam on the congas and Jim Campolongo on the guitar and Renee and Kevin and all of that. And I ended up reading Children of the American Bop Night. That was a lot of fun. And then a little while later, a wonderful woman named Elmira Darovova put on the New York Chamber Festival at Symphony Space. And I went, you know, to support, but one of the readers didn't turn up. Ekayani, would you come on stage and read Children of the American Bop Night? Sure. Little did I know it was being recorded. So I actually have one copy tonight of this rare recording of this wonderful program of David's, you know, chamber music stuff, and then also somehow me in the middle of all that reading this poem. This has really been one of the happiest performing experiences of my life, to be able to play or recite with David. So when I got back to New York after my escapades on the West, I sort of kept dropping hints with David. David, you know, I'd really love to read a poem with David, but any chance I could read David? And then I realized David is not going to ask you, because David is 93 years old now, and he needs to prioritize his time on writing symphonies and concertos and so on and so forth. He's a very busy man. So I thought, I'm going to have to do this myself. Fortunately, we have a friend in common, bandmate in common, Kevin Twigg, who has been playing drums with David since he was 15. I'm not going to tell you how old Kevin is now, but it's been a while. So this is how I connected with Jerome Harris. Now, Jerome Harris, wonderful player. If you're a fan of Sonny Rollins, played in Sonny Rollins' band for 13 years. There's a lot of other accolades, and he's actually flying out to Europe tomorrow. So we're very lucky to have him here this evening. So can I hear a little round of applause for Jerome Harris? Thank you. No worries. There's more seating that's just arrived. Thank you, Francisco. Francisco is the owner of this wonderful shop. All right, so now we're going to get to it. So the first piece that we're going to do is Now It's Jazz. Start off, Jerome. The place is roaring. All beautiful girls in there. One mad brunette at the bar, drunk with her boys. One strange chick I remember from somewhere, wearing a simple skirt with pockets, her hands in there, short haircut, talking to everybody. Up and down the stairs they'd come, tip the bartenders and the regular band, Jack and the heavenly drummer, who looks up to the sky with blue eyes and the beard. He's walking beer caps and bottles and jamming at the cash register, and everything is going into the beat. It's the beat generation. They act. It's the beat to keep. It's the beat of the heart. It's being beat and down in the world, like old time low down, and like an ancient civilization, the slave boatman rowing galleys to a beat, and servants spinning pottery to a beat. There's no face to compare to with Jack Mingers. He's up on the bandstand now with a colored trumpeter who outblows and wild and dizzy, but Jack's face overlooking all the heads and smokes. He has a face that looks like everybody you have ever known and seen on the street in New York Times. Sweet face, hard to describe. Sad eyes, cool lips, expectant lean, swaying with the beat, calm, majestical, waiting in front of the drugstore, faced like hunkies in New York, hunkies that you'll see in Times Square. All the work sad, dark, holy. Just out of jail. Martyred. Tortured by sidewalks. Starved for sex and companionship. Open to anything. Ready to introduce new worlds with a shrug. You see someone. Hi. And you look away elsewhere for something, someone else. It's all insane. And you look back, and you look away. Around everything, coming in from everywhere. Everywhere is the sound of jazz. Hi, hey, bang. And the drummer takes a hold, reaching his young hands all over traps and kettles, and cymbals, foot pedals, and boom, and fantastical crash of sound. 12 years old. What will happen? The colored big tenant with a big tone and blowing sunny stits clear out of Kansas City Roadhouse. Clear, heavy, and unmusical ideas, but nevertheless, never leaves the music. Always there, always far out, a harmony too complicated for the motley bums of music, understanding in there. But the musicians here, the drummer's sensational, 12-year-old Negro boy who's not allowed to drink but can play tremendous, a little like a child like Miles Davis. A kid like early Fats Navarro fans used to see in this part of Harlem. He's small. He thunders at the drums, which is ascribed to me by the near-standing sir with the beret, and a fabulous beat. On piano is Longley Bill, good enough to drive any group. Now Jack Minger blows out and over his head with his angels from Fillmore. I dig him right now. He's terrific. I just stand in the outside hall against the wall with more beer than necessary, with collections of in and out listeners. With Bernie, and now here returns Bob Berman, who's a kid from West Indies, who barged into my party 6 months earlier with Dean and the gang, and I had a Chet Baker record on, and we whooped at each other in the room. Tremendous, the Perfect Graces dancing casual like, Joe Louis casually hoofing. He'd come in now dancing like that. Everybody looks everywhere. It's a jazz joint. and Beat Generation Mad Trick. Thank you, Lee Chapel.
You're welcome. Good night, Chamber.
Beautiful. All right. All right, so we're going to continue on. But I think I need to take a sip. There's some rosé, there's some white wine, there's maybe some red wine up there. So if you would like some, please help yourself. Or if you need to get some more, go ahead. Forgotten Moments, this one's called. Forgotten moments, we don't want forgotten moments. That's why we want to carry this torch forward. That's why I'm here tonight. You want me to start? I want to start. When Charlie Parker, Dizzy Gillespie, and Thelonious Monk were hustled through the chow lines, leans back, remembering old goofs. They came into their own. They jumped, and they had jazz, and took it in their hands. Saw its history, its vicissitudes and developments, and turned it to its weighty use, and heavily carried it clanking like posts across the enormity of New World philosophy. And new and strange and crazy grace come over them, fell from the air free. They saw pity in the whole of heaven. Billie Holiday had rocks in her heart. Miles Davis leaning against the piano, fingering his trumpet with his cigarette hand working, making raw iron sound like wood, speaking in long sentences like Marcel Proust. Hey, Jim. And the stud comes swinging down the street. Says he's real bent, and he is down, and has a twisted face. He works, he wails, he bops, he bangs. Lester. Droopy cough, high-eyed, his warm, crazy idea inside the jazz that everybody dreams. This man who was sent stoned and stabbed is now down, bent and stretched out. He's home at last. His history washed over us. His music is here to stay. Thank you. I never realized how much Jack wrote. I think he wrote like 26 books. It's amazing. I've read 5 of them in the last week. And I got the books right here at this bookstore, and they're going to be available for sale after I'm done with them, but you can't have Book of Jack. I'm buying that one. All right, this one's called Lay That Down on a Trumpet. And I changed it up on you, Jerome. I changed it up. Goofing the table, you You just don't know. What don't I know? How good this ham and eggs is. If you had any idea whatsoever how good this is, you'd stop writing poetry and dig in. Been so long since I've been hungry. It's like a miracle. I go with bacon and them eggs. Mr. Beggar and Mrs. Davies, loony and croony. I made a poem out of it. Haven't smoked loony and croony in a long time. You gotta be able to lay down solid all that loony and froony, frackins, Akins and Bags. Oh, play it all that be. Bobby be buddy. I didn't think so. Bebop. Bebobby. Loony and Junie. That's where they get kind of hysterical. Loony and Boony, Juner and Mooner, Boom, Spoon, and June. Don't they call them catmen that lay it down with the trumpet? I call them cat things. Them eggs and them their bacons, baby. If you knew me, lay that down on a trumpet. Lay that down solid, brother. But all them bacon and eggs. Thank you. Okay. We're going to do Children of the American Pop Night. My favorite poem only because I read it with David. It's a great poem, great poem. And give Mr. Harris an opportunity to change his acts. How's everyone feeling this evening? Everyone's good? Yay, I'm so glad you came. Once there was Louis Armstrong blowing his beautiful top in the muds of New Orleans. Before him, mad musicians who had paraded on official days broke up the Sousa marches into ragtime. Then there was swing. And Roy Eldridge, vigorous and virile, blasting the horn for everything it had. In waves of power and logic and subtlety, leaning into it with glittering eyes and beautiful smile. And sending it out broadcast to rock the jazz world. If you feel like clapping, clap. If you want to snap your fingers, snap. This is jazz, y'all. Come on. We're in this together. Thank you. Young Charlie Parker, a kid in his mother's woodshed in Kansas City, blowing his taped up alto among the logs, practicing on rainy days, coming out to watch Swinging Basie and the Benny Moten Band that had Hot Lips Page and the rest. Charlie Parker leaving home and coming to Harlem and meeting Mad Thelonious Monk and Madder Still Gillespie. Charlie Parker in his early days when he was flipped and walked around in a circle while playing. Somewhere with Lester Young, also from KC, that gloomy, saintly goof, in which the history of jazz was wrapped. But when he held his horn high, he blew the greatest. As his hair grew longer and he got lazier and lazier and stretched out, his horn came down halfway until it fell all the way. And today he wears thick-soled shoes so that he can't feel the sidewalks of life. His horn is held weakly against his chest, and he blows. And easy get-out phrases. Here were the children of the American bop night. Give it up for Jerome Harris. Come on. Dang. Okay, we're gonna do Bottom of My Shoes, then we're gonna do a few selections from Book of Blues, and then we're gonna take a break. Okay. In my medicine cabinet, the winter fly has died of old age. Blackbird, no, bluebird, branch still jumping. Broken plastic coverlets flapping in the rain. cover up newspapers printed plain. I see the backs of old men rolling slowly into black stores, with the rain of exhaust clicking in the mist. You see in black store doors. Snap your finger. Stop the world. Rain falls harder. The bottom of my shoes are clean from walking in the rain. After the shower, amongst the drenched roses, the birds are crashing into the walls. You know, it's good to get together and just be human, right? Okay, so I'm gonna read some selections from this book, Book of Blues, right? Jack was an exuberant person, sensitive person, and subject to sadness, just like the rest of us. So this book has a lot of different, sections in it, but I'm gonna stick to San Francisco blues, and then I'm gonna read a little bit of Bowery blues. But just so you know, there's Richmond Hill blues, McDougal Street blues, Desolation blues, Orizaba 210 blues, Orlando blues, Serrata Medellin blues. Anyway, very fascinating how he wrote this, but you can see he really, really loved jazz. So this San Francisco blues is actually divided into several different choruses. So I'll read which chorus we're on, and then I'll just read that. San Francisco blues, first chorus. I see the backs of old men rolling slowly into black stores. Second chorus. Line-faced, mustached, black men with turned back, army-weathered brown hats, stomp on by with bags of burlap and rue, talking to secret companions with long hair in the sidewalk on 3rd Street, San Francisco. With the rain of exhaust flicking in the mist you see in black store doors. Petting trucks farting, vastly city. Third chorus. 3rd Street Market to lease has a washed-down tile entrance once white, now caked with gum of 1,100 feet. Feet of passers-by who did not go straight on, bending to flap the time. Page on back, with smoke emanating from their noses, but slowly like old lantern-jawed junkmen, hurrying with a lump, wondrous potato bag to the avenues of sunshine, came, bending to spit, and shuffled a while there. San Francisco Blues, 14th chorus. When whistlers stop scowling, smokers stop sighing, watchers stop looking, and women stop walking. When gray beards grow no more, and pain don't take you by surprise, and bedposts creak in a rhythm not at morn, and dry men's bones are not pushed by angry, meaning pelvic, propelled legs of reason to a place you hate, then I'll go lay my crown, body on the heads of 3 men, hurrying and laughing in the wrong direction. My idol. Twenty-fourth chorus. San Francisco is too sad. Time I can't understand. Fog shrouds the hills in, makes unshod feet so cold. Fills black rooms with day black in the white windows, and gloom in the pane of pianos, shadows in the jazz age. Filing by ladders of flappers, painter's white bucket, funny Three Stooge comedies, and fuzzy-headed hero. Moufle lip sucked it all up and wondered why. The milk and cream of heaven was writ in gold leaf on a book, big eyes for the world, the better to see. Twenty-fifth chorus. And big lips for the word, and Buddhahood and death. Touch the cup to these sad lips, let the purple grape foam in my gullet deep, spread saccharin and crimson carnadine in my vine of veins, and shoot power to my hand, belly, heart, and head. This magic carpet Arabian world will take us, easeful zinging across the sky, singing madrigals. 26th chorus. To horizons of golden moment emptiness, whither whence uncaring, dizzy ride in space. To red fires beyond the pale, rosy, gory outlooks everywhere. San Francisco is too old. Her chimneys lean and look sooty after all this time of waiting for something to happen. Betwixt hill and house, heart and heaven. 27th chorus. San Francisco, San Francisco, you're a muttering bum in a brown beat suit, can't make a woman on a rainy corner. Your corners open out, San Francisco, to arc racks of the seals, lost in vapor, cold and bleak. You're as useless as a soda truck parked in the rain, with cases of pretty red, orange, green, and Coca-Cola, brown receiving rain, drops like the sea, receiveth driving spikes, welling in the navel void. I also have loud poems, broken plastic coverlets flapping in the rain to cover newspapers all printed up and plain. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to read from this section and bring it on home, because Jack was an East Coast boy. He always ended up coming back. So this one is called Bowery Blues. It's kind of a bit of a poem and a bit of a prose. Anyone ever hang around Cooper Union? Peter Cooper? Okay, yeah. For I prophesy that the night will be bright with the gold of old in the sun within. Cooper Union Cafeteria, late cold March afternoon, the street 3rd Avenue is cobbled, cold, desolate, with trolley tracks. Some man on the corner is waving his hand down, no-ing, somebody emphatically and out of sight, behind a black and white pillar. Cold clowns in the moment, horror of the world. A Puerto Rican kid with a green stick, stooping to bat the sidewalk, but changing his mind and halting on. 2 new small trucks parked, the withery gray rose stone building across the street, with its rhyme heights in the quiet winter sky. Inside are quiet workers, by neon entablatures, practicing fanning lessons with a murderous Marlboro. A yakking blonde with awful wide smile is macking her mouth lip to talk to an old bodhisattva papa on the sidewalk. The tense quickness of her hard-working words. Meanwhile, a funny bum with no sense tries to panhandle them and is waved away. Stumbling, he doesn't care about society, women embarrassed with paper bags on sidewalks. Unutterably sad, the broken winter shattered face of a man passing in the bleak ripple, followed by a Russian boxer with an expression of Baltic lostness, something grim and Slavic and so helplessly beyond my conditional ken or ability to evaluate and believe that I shudder as at the touch of cold stone to think of him, the sickened old awfulness of it like slats of wood, wall in an old brewery truck. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to take a break now, so drink wine, talk to Jerome. If you want a sticker, I have stickers for you. Thank you.